possibly should have waited for after the little elevator cutscene to split the footage up, but it doesn't make all that much of a difference. It would have just shifted around what batch of seconds were in what clip, and that's not really going to make much of a difference when we are doing a number of approximately 20-minute clips. Given the fact that we were in a boss fight in that very temple, it most certainly wasn't protected forever. Though I suppose there aren't going to be too many more enemies that come in there after that. Right, more monsters popping up out of nowhere. Why do we need the special cutscene to show the dark mist coming again, when we've already seen it possessing that same species of bug before? The mist didn't even come down fast enough to grab even a quarter of the bugs that tried to ambush us here. Well, I certainly appreciate the energy tank, considering how close we came to dying in the first boss fight. Kind of confused that the elevator that had a language lock led us to a place we've already explored a bit of. Granted, we're still pretty early in the game, but it's a bit of a bad sign that we're already doing some level of backtracking this early on. Okay, so the gate is back down and there's no way we can break it right now. Guess we're gonna have to try a different route at the moment. Definitely a bit odd to have this kind of issue this early on in an over 20-hour game. Possibly an early sign this game was rushed through, though maybe I'm just being a bit too harsh. And we've got another dead end, only the map doesn't show it. Though I'm sure we already knew about the Morph Ball tunnel just next to the collapse tunnel there. Right, nothing that says if we have the right program to get through the translator in front of us. Good, it's a purple one. Would it really have been all that difficult to make the T purple on the map? And of course there's a corpse just behind the sealed door. Huh, an outright last will is somebody's log entry? Okay, so not an actual last will and testament, they just used the word testament to make the lore entry sound a bit more cool. Don't worry, we'll do what we can to ensure their defeat, but it's gonna be a bit of a long road to get there. Considering just how rough I remember this game being, I hope nobody minds that I'm gonna check if the other nearby translate things are gonna give us anything to improve our equipment. I'm not all that confident in how I'm gonna handle myself in this one, hence why I made sure that I can do cheats of some kind on the GameCube version of this game. Right, nice to unlock it. I'm not sure how vigilant you were, but your strength apparently wasn't enough to get this done. Hence why you decided to develop a planet-destroying weapon to deal with the monsters you're dealing with in the alternate version of your planet. That just leads us back towards the direction we came from in the first place. There's nothing wrong with going back to the ship we came to the planet on, but I somehow thought the game was going to lock us away from that for a long time, much like how Metroid, Fusion, and Dread handle things. And apparently there's no way to jump onto the ship to save until we have the double jump. Bit annoying, but I suppose we'll find another save point if I push forward in the direction we should have gone in the first place. Somehow was expecting that bit of exploring to get us a bit more than that, but I suppose getting an energy tank is a solid enough upgrade for now, at least. Hold on, just gonna check if there's anywhere else in the nearby area we might be able to unlock before we move on to the genuinely unexplored territory. Right, nothing. Time to finally head towards the wastes. Anyone else getting kind of a Terminator vibe from the background music here? Not a bad beat to have in the background, I just don't think it fits us running around in this particular situation. Right, missile expansion right next to the elevator and not even all that well hidden. I suppose it's early in the game, hard to feel insulted by that. Not too sure why they need to bother with the clamps when we're as far down as this thing goes.
Recording to logbook.
A different kind of storage device made by the same people who made the pots in the previous area. Seems a bit odd to me. If they could make plants to store some things, then why did they bother making the very old-fashioned pots? Hell, it's not like they did anything especially artistic on the pots. Well, the desert and the local scavengers, apparently. They don't seem all that powerful in this bit of light, so maybe it's another source of light that gives them powers. And just why is it we're allowed to scan this bit of grass, but the strange, almost undersea life kind of plant in the previous area was completely unscannable? It is literally just grass that doesn't need any water. I'm sorry to say this area doesn't look all that different from the area we just left. Not too sure why we needed the camera to pan around to show us that specific door. It doesn't look like an especially difficult path to figure out. And I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other things for us to find in this place between here and the next section. Like this worm that came up to attack us. Right, of course the worm has two heads for some reason. And it dramatically exploding like that when it's not even possessed by the black gunk is totally understandable. I've seen plenty of creatures do that in video games over the years after all. If anything, I'm more confused that we were even allowed to scan that bit of grass that is probably never going to be a threat in this game, than by the fact that the local wildlife wants us dead even without being possessed by the hyper-aggressive assholes from another world. Well, at least those swarms don't seem too inclined to just fly right into us. Anyway, this is as good a time as any to save before pushing onwards. It's not a dedicated save room, but apparently this game doesn't seem to give a damn about those sort of things as much as the 2D parts of the series. Right, fighting against the current of a sandfall? I know it's just part of the whole wasteland theme. I've been in plenty of them over the years. Still, did they really have to make sand act like water just because they don't want to show water in the region? It may be poisonous, but apparently walking right into it isn't enough to damage us or anything to that effect. All that does is just brighten the screen in an annoying way. And we've got a bit of an odd gateway, preventing us from grabbing a missile expansion and moving forward in this direction. Guess it's time to head back and see what we can find along some other paths. Yeah, really not a fan of sand acting like water for the sake of having things flowing around us. You can still make a place feel like a wasteland by using an actual liquid of some kind. I just want something to give the area a bit of a different color around here. Considering just how wide open this natural arena is, I wouldn't be surprised if we come across a boss fight here sometime in the future. As a side note, does anyone else find it oddly funny that the game is being very generous with the hitboxes for the eyes of these worms? I know the power beam bolts are larger than its eyes, but still, that just kind of struck me as interesting. I'm assuming the lightning is just background lighting, not something that's actually going to mean anything in our immediate future. Well, I suppose that's one way to get across. I'd ask why that convenient bit of bridge was there, but this is a planet where we've already had convenient cannons to get us from point A to point B. Right, so apparently we aren't actually able to scan that one just yet. Probably need a separate translation software downloaded in order for us to do that, and we'd have to get it from our exposition man, Umos. And really, that thing is supposed to be a statue of some kind. I thought it was just some part of an overly elaborate archway. If it's a statue, then I wouldn't be surprised if it represents the two-headed worms we've been dealing with out here. Well, if the control emitter is not one of the purple language things, then there's no way we're going to activate it with what we have right now. As a side note, is there a particular reason those bats could want to start circling that thing we just toppled over? Or are they doing it just for the sake of being annoying to the player with no in-universe explanation at all? I know, not too much point in asking about the behavior of various creatures in a Metroid game. Pretty much 90% of life on the world Samus ends up on are hostile as hell, including the plants. Still, sometimes I'd like an in-universe explanation for these things. Right, what's this cutscene going to throw at us? Okay, looks like the space pirates are also getting consumed by the Ink's black mist. Wait, these guys haven't been getting taken over by the alternate universe shadow monsters on this planet? Then what was with the short-range teleportation and temporary invisibility? I mean, sure, maybe the cloaking came from part of their research back in the first Metroid Prime, but still. Well, those three certainly wore us down a bit more than I was hoping, considering how early in the game we are. Granted, they kind of ambushed us, even if the cutscene showed them popping up instead of them just appearing with absolutely no ceremony and just blasting at us. Still, I can't help feeling annoyed that the pirates, who were explicitly shot down by the Federation forces, are in better shape than the troops that came in after them. The troops that were taken down Ing-possessed bugs left and right, and only managed to be killed by sheer numbers. I'm pretty sure they deserve better. But then, I'm also sure that somehow, the pirates have far more troops on the planet than the Federation ever did for some reason. All for the sake of giving us one of the more iconic, repeating enemies in the franchise to deal with in this game, since the Metroids aren't showing up. It is downright amazing how glad I was in Metroid 2 and Dread when the pirates were nowhere to be seen. Well, okay, Ridley showed up in the 3DS remake of 2, and Kraid was pretty major in Dread, but they were the only pirates there. And to be fair, I've only gotten sick of Ridley to the point that I look at AM2R and Dread and this game as being better than they possibly actually are, because they're the only game so far where that dragon hasn't shown up to make things rougher for us. It's not that he's a bad boss. His placement and difficulty in pretty much every game he's included in are highlights for said game. It's just that he's shown up far too many times and is still treated as a very major threat, when the fact that he's been beaten so often by our heroine over the decades should have lowered his threat level in some fashion or another. I should probably be more focused on what's going on right now than talking about the pirates and two bosses that aren't even in this game. Still, it's not like I can say too much about that one corpse somehow being killed by explosive damage, when there was no explosive damage visible on his body or the surrounding terrain. Wait, what? It's not bad enough that we don't have the bombs available to activate this device just yet. The trigger for the goddamn door has to be halfway through to another dimension just to make things that little bit more annoying to get going this direction? That is quite a bit of effort to make sure that we don't make any more progress in this particular way, that's for sure. Right. I suppose coming through a portal is in our future at some point, assuming, of course, we can find a way to activate it. At the very least, I assume we're going to have to do some puzzle-solving ridiculousness in here before we're allowed to move on. Is that some kind of alloy weak to missiles? Part of me wants to doubt that, since that's the first time we've read about that specific alloy in this specific game. But then it doesn't look like we're really allowed to interact with all that much in this room at this time anyway. At the very least, we're gonna need bombs to be able to make some more progress, and unfortunately, bombs are not in our inventory right now. I don't think we have the tools to be able to restore the power in here right now, though I wouldn't mind being wrong about that. Seriously, at the very least we need bombs to get things done, and I'm sure we need to fight a boss of some kind in order to get that bit of equipment again. Wait, I think I see something behind the corpse there, and even in context, that sounds a bit creepy. Again, I appreciate the missile expansion, but we're definitely getting to a point where I really want a more meaningful upgrade. At the very least, I hope we gain bombs next time, since there's no way there's enough time left in this clip for us to gain them now. It's gonna be another abrupt ending, but hopefully not so abrupt that I'll somehow lose my place when setting things up for the next clip. Thought I'd be able to make that jump, but then it's not like I've got an especially clear idea where to go right now. I'm just hoping behind one of the other doors in this room is the way to the bomb upgrade. Damn near sent back down by the current of sand. Missile door is now available, so let's see what's behind it. But first, what the hell is that thing? I would say something against child heroes, but a lot of Japanese-made video games and anime tend to pull that sort of crap, and I'll probably get in on that next time.